I'm running for sheriff because people like to leave their profession better off when they leave than when they were in it. And I see the hatred that's going on through the United States, the hatred with the citizens amongst the police officers, and I think I could bridge that gap and bring back the respect police officers need. Why am I the best candidate? I have 30 years plus police experience. 1985, I retired from full duty in 2014. I'm currently still in the reserve program. I've worked in neighborhood resource programs, which enabled me to get specifics on working with the gang detail, working with robbery intervention details. Pretty much we were the commanders of the area. I was a pioneer in community policing. I worked in the street narcotics unit as an undercover officer. I know what it's take to bring back our street crimes unit. I was a hostage negotiator for over 10 years. And most of all, I know what it takes to get respect from the community and bring it back to our officers. Well, first of all, we need to bridge the gap. We have to show love to our police officers. Police officers today, we have the #1 divorce rate in the country out of professions. We're the only profession that are giving tools. Sometimes those tools have fatal outcomes, and we end up in jail when we make one mistake. I don't see too many doctors committing malpractice going to jail from one mistake, but yet officers are a target amongst politicians and the community. So how can we bridge that gap? First, we got to show respect to our police officers, and respect meaning that these officers, if they're involved in a shooting, they see a psychiatrist, but if they're involved in a critical incident, say a car accident involving a young child, if they see a young child or a woman or a man that's raped, they're expected to go to the movies when they get home with their wives, and they have no debriefing. I want to make sure every officer on a homicide scene, a shooting scene that's exposed to a critical incident get physical help from a mental therapist and before he comes back to work, not just on shootings, but any critical incident. By doing that, the officer is going to be able to get involved more with his family. You can't serve the community if you can't serve your family. And you can't serve your family if you have all these doubts in your mind of where humanity is going to. So first we have to have our officers, give them respect and give them the help they need, and then we can bring in the community and bridge that gap again. Well, as I mentioned, I was a hostage negotiator for over 10 years. Crisis intervention training is crucial amongst the police officer, but it's also crucial to be able to identify the needs of a mental ill individual and not entice that person to aggravate him. And that's what I did as a negotiator. Every officer needs to be trained in crisis intervention training, but so do public service aides and so do civilians within the police department. We have to identify crises. Now, not only that, we have to identify houses and calls that we have repeated problems from mental illness individuals, and we have to identify when they are in a moment of crisis. And follow up. It's not just responding to a call, solve the situation, and leave. It's going back afterwards and providing that family with services. There's a lot of mental services for mental illness and for individuals, not only in the community, but school systems that's available. They just don't know it. We have to go back after these calls, keep the families involved and engaged, and offer them help on how we could bring this individual out of it, and offer them programs as well. I'm probably the only candidate that has come out and says that one of my platforms is to immediately sign a memo of understanding with Homeland Security under 287G, which will allow us to perform certain immigration enforcement laws. And with that, I do plan to have a task force that consists of immigration agents as well. If you look at it, we have a hurricane, what do? We ask the federal government for help. We ask FEMA, We have the Red Cross, and we're asking them for help. Now, with the border out of control, millions of people coming into the United States, which are coming across legally, but when they don't go undocumented and they don't report back, they become illegal. There's a reason why the government has a pickup order on these individuals. And with that, the government is going to be offering money to local law enforcement agencies to assist them. So if they're going to offer us money to put more officers on the street, why wouldn't we get involved? And to the other candidates, I want to see them, the first officer that gets shot and killed by an immigrant, where they had the opportunity to enforce the law and bring that one back. I want to see the first sheriff candidate talk to one of the parents of a rape victim or somebody that's shot and killed, and they had the opportunity to enforce the laws of the United States, and they didn't do it. I'm here to enforce all laws. You have some candidates saying, well, when they commit a law, we're going to throw the book at them and we're going to get them out of here. Well, there's a reason that we need to identify these individuals. If me and you get stopped on a traffic stop, what happens? We give our driver's license, our picture comes up on a screen. Why not give our officers access to the federal government system where we could bring up an individual on a screen and make sure he is who we say he is? Well, living in South Florida is it's challenging with traffic, but what I love most about it is you have restaurants on every corner, and it's a diverse community. You have cultures from all over the world. You can engage pretty much in any restaurant you want within a mile area, and all the restaurants are fantastic. I mean, South Florida is just to me, it's the epic center of the United States, where you can live in South Florida and experience every culture that there is.